I'm so glad you found my channel, Sweet Uniquities, where everything I do here is always sweet and custom for an event, making it a true uniquity. Today I am winging it. I am making a Hoppy bunny cake using a Pepperidge Farm frozen cake. So let's see how this goes and jump into today's project. The one thing I have definitely learned through this whole COVID-19 thing is that there are many different definitions of what an essential business and an essential item constitute. So as I was ordering the items I needed for today's video off of Amazon, they informed Sweet Uniquity that my items were not necessarily necessities, and my items will be delayed about 3 weeks. So change plans for today's video. Thanks, Amazon. We're doing something off the cuff today, which could be a little concerning, but I still expect to meet your expectations, because I'm assuming if you're watching this channel, your expectations for me are kind of low. So I'm up for that challenge today. So today we are doing something for Easter. You can use this idea for other things, but because Easter's around the corner, we're going to do this with some sweet little bunnies. So I hope you enjoyed today's off-the-cuff video. Many of us grew up with our moms or our grandmas or even us making those little Easter bunny cakes with coconut. And you would take the coconut and you would dye it green and you would use it as grass. And that is awesome. It is a cute, sweet way to, and simple to get a grass effect. We are going to take grass up to a new level. We're going to do moss today. And there are lots of different ways to make moss, edible moss. And there are lots of different bloggers and YouTubers that have done different things on the moss. But today I'm going to just steal some of their ideas. I will leave the credit down below. But I'm just taking graham crackers. And so to get a look that's a little different than the coconut, unless you can get the coconut that's very fine, is it called I forget, some fancy word for like really tiny coconut, but they use it for macaroons and such. But anyway, so just take 5 or 6 graham crackers. We're gonna roll these and get them crushed down into little pieces. And then I have basically gone through my collection of green edible paint, and I have used a concoction of avocado, electric green, mint green, and a squirt of just, I think, regular green, but you can see who would even know what that's called, because apparently I'm a mess. So I put a lot of that in there and I mixed it together till I got a color that I thought might be kind of the color I was looking for. You don't need all of those colors, just one green is fine. I'm just extra. So we do need to thin it down a tad though. So you can use vodka, but today I am actually going to be using, and I picked this up at Never Forgotten Designs in St. Louis, but this is Artisan Accents Dilution Solution, and it is a way to dilute things, edible things, without using vodka. But normally you would use this to take a regular color and gel color and turn it into something for an airbrush machine, because you have to have something more fine to go through an airbrush machine or it clogs it up. But you can also use this just to dilute the paint. So I'm going to finish crushing up my graham crackers. I'm going to add the paint and I'm going to mix it up in there. And so I'll show you that. And then my husband, I sent him to the store to get a white cake. So we'll see what he comes back with. So we might be kind of limited because things are crazy in the store still. So let's see what Mr. Uniquities comes up with, and we'll go from there. really happy with how the moss turned out. I'm not gonna put my hands in there because my fingers are turning green. So St. Patrick's Day is past. So anyway, I think that this turned out fantastic. If you have graham cracker crumbs, you save yourself a step, but I actually just had the graham crackers. So, Mr. Uniquities just returned from the grocery, and we are going to be working today with a Pepperidge Farm confetti vanilla layer cake. I have never bought one of these. Have no idea what we're getting ourselves into, but we're gonna try to make this work. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. We have ourselves a little frozen square with some confetti. Wow. Okay. I don't even know. Like seriously, it is so tiny. Like who buys these? Anyway, apparently Mr. Uniquities, that's all they had, he said, as far as white cake. So what my thought is, I'm going to make a little fondant bunny to put on top of the cake, but we're going to cover the top of the cake, such as it is, with the moss. So we're gonna hide all this confetti. I might be able to get some of it off, but it'll be fine. We won't see it. So I'm gonna make I think a glaze icing. So I'm just gonna do some powdered sugar. I'm not even probably gonna use milk. I could probably just powdered sugar, maybe a little bit of milk. Just a glaze to put on the top of the cake so that the moss will adhere to it. And then we're going to make a little, I have some cutters here, but I think this is gonna be the best size. I have a little bunny cutter I've had for years. And so I think what we're going to do is make a little fondant bunny. We're gonna decorate him and put him on the moss. So let's try that. So for the bunny, I took some white fondant. I added some CMC powder or Tylose to it. I worked it in really well. I rolled it out pretty thin, and then I used my cookie cutter to cut out the fondant. When I was done with that, and I actually put a lot of Tylose in here so they would dry faster, but when I was done, once I had cut out the bunny, I took the design again and I put it back into the cutter this way, upside down, and because there are like details for the face, I pressed his little face here so that I could get the indentation marks. So I'm hoping that you can see there's a little bit, can you see? There's a little bit of an indentation. There they are. So I have a little bit of a guide. We're gonna try to use that guide. So I'm gonna let these dry just a little bit longer. I also thought, just because we needed one more thing for the cake, I rolled out some pink fondant and I used these cutters, and this is actually the video, this is similar. So you're gonna see this again soon, but very different. But these are very basic flowers. So I used these little cutters, there's 3 sizes, and I put them, once I had them cut out, I put them in, these are from the Dollar Tree. You get like 5 or 6 pans, and I use these for paint. When I'm painting my toppers, I use them to dry flowers so that you have a design, so you have a shape. So those are drying. I'm gonna add some little pearls in the middle, and I think those will be really sweet around the bunny on his little confetti cake. So I'm gonna let these things dry, and we're gonna come back and we are gonna put our little happy bunny cake all together. Here I'm just using some Wilton's Dab and Hold to secure the little pearls to the center of the flowers. This is simply some really pretty bright blue powdered food color. You can use any kind of edible food color. I'm just diluting it with a little bit of inexpensive vodka and then using it to paint the sweet little bunny's eyes. I would love it if you would like today's video and consider subscribing so you don't miss any future content that I have coming up. I'm using an edible food marker just to provide details for the eyes and the whiskers for the bunny's face. This is some magenta colored luster dust, and I'm using it as food color in this video. I'm just going to take a little powder, add a little bit of the inexpensive vodka to it, and make a paint, and then color his nose as well as his bow. I don't really know what this is called. It's like flaked glitter, and I'm going to use it to have a little fluffy bunny tail. There's only one thing this little bunny needs, and that's a little sparkly bow on his tie. So I am adding some glue here, and I'm going to add some sparkly magenta disco dust, and we will have a sparkly bow. So now that all the components are complete, I'm going to take our frozen cake. I still think it's so funny. I'm gonna put it on a cake plate. And I thought it would be best to do this while the cake was still frozen to try to get the moss attached. So you can kind of take your finger and rub some of these off, but most of them are not coming off, the little confetti. So what I'm gonna do is I just made a very thin glaze of powdered sugar and water. And I don't really need this to taste. It's just kind of acting as a glue because there's icing on this cake already. Thank you, Pepperidge Farms. So I'm gonna try this because I'm just winging this. So I'm gonna, right there. I'm going to just use a brush, and I'm going to brush on just on the top. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but just on the top, I'm going to baste the cake. Who knew? Baste the cake with the icing glaze. All right. So it looks like I've got it all over. Just a thin glaze, I don't want it too heavy. And then I think I need something to put under here so I don't make a mess on the plate. So let me grab a parchment and I'll be right back. So these I get at the Dollar Tree. I do have a Dollar Tree video, and I will link it down below. And then I also get these little paint palettes. I get those at the Dollar Tree too, so I highly recommend those for cake decorating and toppers. Okay, so put that down there, and then I'm just going to use, my hands are clean, I just use my hands to put the moss. I feel that the moss is like an elevated, like the graduate to the green coconut grass. It's just a little more advanced, and some of these pieces are kind of big and chunky, and I love that because it's kind of like real moss, because real moss is, you know, you get little chunks. So we're just gonna put that all over so you can't see any of the confetti anymore. It's looking pretty. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So, you know, it wasn't kind of the cake I was expecting, but Mr. Uniquity did a nice job. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna clean this up here. And then let's see if we can kind of get some of that off at the bottom there a little bit. Oops. I see a red one. We're going to take him off. We don't want him. Okay. All right. So to put the bunny in, I just think he turned out so cute. We're going to need a knife or something sharp. So since I have this over here, we're going to use this. And I'm going to use my bunny that I didn't actually use to try to figure out where I want him. And it's kind of nice. This bunny actually has like feet, and those feet I'm going to use to kind of be just the stand for him. So I'm just going to make a slot for the bunny to kind of fit in there. That's going to be perfect. So I'm going to put our little finished bunny, which I think he turned out so cute. His little sparkly tail and his little sweet face. Put that right in there. Oh, that's so cute. And just to secure him, I'm going to wind up probably putting either a little bamboo broken off in the behind him, or a little cut off straw, or even a toothpick, just to kind of make sure he doesn't flop over backwards, because I don't want him to fall over, because if he does and his ears hit the counter, they'll probably break. So I'm going to work on that here in just a second. But here's where we're at so far, which I think is just so cute. And then I just have these little simple flowers that I added pearl centers to. And I'm just gonna kind of maybe place those around. Just kind of randomly. Oops. And then I also had Mr. Uniquity pick up some, I wanted some, like the robin eggs, and they didn't have any. So, because he went to the grocery. So, I have just these, they're called Shimmer Mini Eggs from Cadbury. So I'm just gonna put a couple of those. I was really wanting bright colored speckled eggs. That's what I envisioned, but they didn't have any, so that's okay though. It's looking cute. Little blue one. And honestly, I think that that's enough. What I might do around the edge, just because it's on this meat, it's like a styrofoam meat tray, which is not cute. I may just put a little bit more. I tried to take it off, but I might actually try to put some moss around the bottom, just so that it kind of looks a little bit prettier than just the meat tray. The cake tray. So anyway, I'll finish this up and then I will show you the completed project. I think this turned out really cute today, considering I had no idea what we're going to be doing. Did I meet your expectations?
I love how our final cake turned out. Despite the fact it was a little frozen square, I think our mossy Hoppy bunny cake turned out just adorable. I would love it if you would consider subscribing to this channel and liking today's video. Have a sweet and unique Easter. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.